This educational video is brought to you by the South Carolina Long-Term Care Emergency Preparedness Educational Program, funded by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Civil Monetary Penalty Funds.
Hi, I'm Jim with UGA's Institute for Disaster Management. In this exciting video, we're going to learn all about emergency preparedness kits. So hold on to your hemostatic gauze and let's get this party started. Safely started. An emergency preparedness kit, or EP kit, is a collection of items that can be very useful in an emergency. There are many different kinds of EP kits. For example, you could have a household EP kit, an EP kit for your vehicle. You could even have an EP kit for your pets. These kinds of kits help you to solve problems during an emergency. For this video, we're going to focus on building EP kits for long-term care facilities. Of course, every facility is different, but we'll take a look at the kind of items you should have gathered and ready to use quickly in an emergency. The fact is, a good EP kit can help save the lives of both residents and staff members during an emergency. Here's one example of a facility-level EP kit built with the needs of a long-term care facility in mind. These kits range in price, size, and content, but your facility's needs will determine what your kit will need to contain. Your geographic location and the most likely type of disasters that you may face are factors that you'll want to consider. This example uses 2 rolling duffel bags as one kit. It cost around $1,200 at the time it was assembled. During a major disaster, you have 2 basic options. One is to evacuate and leave. The other is to shelter in place, or hunker down and ride out the storm. Your kits need to be able to support either of those activities. And in fact, it may need to support both of those activities at the same time if you've had to split residents up into evacuation groups and sheltering groups. Emergency lighting and backup power are important to include in your EP kit. In these particular kits, we include headlamps as one of the most important backup lighting options. Headlamps allow you to actually operate with both hands and do your job instead of having to hold a flashlight with one hand. Remember, don't keep the batteries inside the lights for storage. Eventually the batteries will leak, destroying the flashlight. We also include some handheld flashlights, a little more robust, provide a little bit higher candle power, allow you to do things like look for damage up on the roof after a storm, for instance. For area lighting, we like to include these lanterns. The lanterns not only provide 360-degree lighting, battery powered, but they can also charge cell phones. We also include batteries, a couple of boxes of each type. Again, don't store the batteries in the flashlights. For backup power, we always like to include a car inverter. This device can actually be plugged into the lighter socket of a car and then provides power outlets as well as USB ports that you can charge small devices off of. They're very inexpensive. We also include a jump starter. This particular model can jump start a car about 30 times before it has to be recharged. It also has USB ports on it that can recharge phones or other small electronic devices or even laptops. It also comes with phone charging cables as well as adapter tips. Be sure to evaluate your facility's emergency power and lighting needs and include items to support those needs in your kit. Sun, wind, rain, and cold are normal parts of disasters. You need to have some basic items in your kit that can help protect your residents and staff from those threats. In these kits, we provide 30 ponchos, which are of course waterproof rain covers to help keep people or equipment dry. We also include 50 of the emergency space blankets. These blankets are water resistant, wind resistant, and they can reflect 80 to 90% of your body heat right back to you. They're incredibly helpful in an emergency. Y'all look fantastic, by the way. Emergency communications is critical in a disaster. You need to be able to communicate both internally within your own organization as well as externally, especially with your community partners and public safety organizations. In this kit, we've included a portable weather radio. This particular model can be charged one of several ways. It has a hand crank on it so that it never runs out of power per se. It has a solar panel on it. It can also use a rechargeable battery that's inside of it, and it can be charged from a USB port that you can connect to a computer or a wall socket. You could also attach it to the jump starter that we included in here. We've also included items such as Sharpies to write emergency messages or create emergency signage in a disaster. We've also included a whistle, helpful for emergency communications of all kinds, as well as traffic control if you're doing an evacuation. So remember, your cell phone can be an important source of emergency communications also. Oftentimes they will still work in a disaster, especially functions like text messaging. Make sure that you always include multiple backup power sources for your phone, as well as lots of charging cables and adapters and different ways to plug into power for your phones. Your EP kit should contain some basic emergency medical supplies. Some of the supplies we've included in this kit are trauma shear to help expose a wound, cut clothing, cut any other items that need to be cut. Plus, it has an oxygen wrench incorporated into it. We've also included an emergency trauma dressing. This is kind of like an ACE bandage. It's an elastic wrap. It can be used both as an ACE bandage or to help stop bleeding. We've included hemostatic gauze. This is special chemically treated gauze that can help to stop bleeding when you're engaging in wound packing or in other direct pressure type activities to stop bleeding. We've also included a CAT tourniquet, CAT, Combat Application Tourniquet, which can be used to help stop severe bleeding on extremities, arms and legs. In this particular kit, we've also included not one, but 2 litters. These are cloth litters or flexible litters. These allow you to carry a resident or any other injured person without having to have a larger, bulkier stretcher. They're small, they're lightweight, they're very inexpensive. They're made out of really tough nylon material and they have handles all over them. You never know what you'll need in an emergency, so your EP kit should also include some handy items for general use. These kinds of items can help you to solve problems in an emergency. One of the most important items that we always include in kits is called a multi-tool. It's a handy portable tool that has pliers, needle nose pliers, wire cutters, screwdrivers of different sizes, blades on it. It can help you solve so many problems. Always have multi-tools. We include several in this kit. We always recommend lots of heavy-duty duct tape. You can never have enough duct tape in a disaster. We also include heavy-duty leather work gloves to help protect your hands when you're doing things that could result in injury. We also like to include some heavy-duty nylon cordage and lots of rubber bands. Being able to attach things together is helpful in solving problems in an emergency. We also include water purification tablets. These can help you to chemically disinfect water that's not safe to drink. There's a lot of that in many disasters. We also would recommend that you include a bunch of Ziploc bags in your emergency preparedness kit of assorted sizes because everything gets wet in a disaster. Some other categories to consider when building your facility's EP kit are food, water, and informational guides and pocket references. Having a good emergency preparedness kit can help to save lives at your facility. We've taken a quick look at the items included in our example facility level EP kit, and we hope that's been helpful. Your EP kit should contain items that meet the specific needs of your facility and that work with your overall emergency plan. Whatever kit you build, be sure to keep your staff trained on how to use the items inside and make sure that they know how to find the EP kit if disaster strikes. Thanks for watching. You can find more helpful information in the description below, including our informational packet, which lists all of the items in this EP kit, as well as how to store, train with, and use each item. Oh no! It's a simulated earthquake, tornado, alien shark invasion. Grab the EP kit and let's get out of here.